My name is Raymond Israel Casas. I received, I got shot in the chest on 21 November, the year 2006. I was in Iraq, Fallujah. Actually got shot in the village of Saglawiya. Well, the thing was, we had found a suspected insurgent on the hilltop at a cemetery displaying suspicious activity. We stopped and questioned the individual, and then our sergeant seen some couple of other military-aged men go into a house, so he decided to go over there and check it out. However, he went on his own, and it resulted in the rest of us following him. We did locate a house that was suspected to be an IED making factory. It had all the materials inside and stuff, so we detained the two individuals and then called the EOD for support. As we set the cordon for the around the house for EOD to get there, then a car that had already been identified by me drove by. A couple of minutes later, returned reversing. I was calling the sergeant per the our handheld radios to inquire why that individual had reversed backward, if they sent him back or if there was an obstacle of some sort where he had to come back. I wasn't able to get a hold of him on the radio, or he didn't answer. So when I called a second time, then he said they were on the way. At that time, I looked to my left to see, what direction they were coming from, where they were at, so that way we could go and check on this vehicle. And at the moment that I turned my head, I was shot in the chest. The bullet went through the upper receiver of my M16, which is probably what saved my life. Well, the recovery started in Iraq. I had 3 corrective surgeries while I was in Iraq. And then it was later determined that I had neuropathy and PTSD, so they sent me back to the Wounded Warrior Regiment in Camp Lejeune February of 2007. And I stayed with the Wounded Warrior Regiment for a year before being placed out into the community and taken back to my unit. Well, I think the obstacles, the main one was having to stay in uniform after while attempting to recuperate, because people that don't know anything about you try to dress you down or correct things, or in my case, I gained a lot of weight, and I just looked really nasty in uniform, and would get comments on that. So I think that was probably the biggest obstacle. Once I was able to, get out of uniform, live in the community, it started, I started setting new goals and preparing myself to, get ready for a retirement. Now going into the VA system, the transition was a train wreck for me, because they did not take me into the system that same day the way they were supposed to. They made me wait 3 months before I came to see them, and then medication became an issue at that point. So, the military order of the Purple Heart, I joined in Camp Lejeune. So I joined, I believe, was in 2008. So I joined. I wasn't active with them or anything. I still became a member. When I started to use them is when I finally went into the VA system, and I was accused of abusing medication, med seeking, all kind of different slanderous accusations from an intern. I was directed by my VA primary care and by my mental health provider to go to the Audie Murphy emergency room to inquire about medication refills. And the intern came out with a premeditated approach that I was neglecting meds, not realizing that 3-month period had went by already. She didn't know the difference on her meds, between diazepam and alprazolam. And she accused me of taking 380 pills of diazepam, and I told her I hadn't had that many in the whole time I've been on med hold. She was actually talking about the Xanax. But anyway, they put me on a they put me through the prevention and management of disruptive behavior committee. They ran my case through, because what happened is, when she gave me all that bad information, bad accusations and stuff, I jumped up and I yelled at her as loud as I could. You gotta be kidding! I brought you medication bottles, doctor information. I talked to patient advocate before I got here and got an updated outpatient medical report, and so she got scared. Once they opened the door, I calmed down and told them, "Hey, somebody show me the way out, because I need to go home." And they just looked at me like I was a freak. I said it a second time, somebody show me the way out. I need to go home. There's a nurse there, and he was, I've been through it. We've been there, and this and that, but they would not show me the way out. So I seen a sign over some doors, and I was gonna just simply walk out and go home. However, the doors were locked. When an incident like that happens, they call a code green or code blue, something like that, but they lock in the emergency department so that nobody's able to walk out or come in. So I turned away from the doors, looked for another set. I looked back and I seen the exit sign over the doors I was at, so I went back and I busted through the locked doors, and then I got not oriented. The police came and got me. I had 4 policemen grabbed me from behind, and then they literally walked me back into the emergency room. And I was just, asking her, "Hey, please don't do this. Please don't do this." No resistance. And the intern, she forced her care on me by threatening to put med-seeking target on my medical records, which is going to follow me everywhere that I go. So I made it a point to tell the police, tell her in front of the police, everything she did, everything she accused me of, and in case I needed them for witnesses later. Which, when I got this letter, it proved, to be effective, because I took all the right, point of contacts to get into the emergency department. Now, that's when the military order of the Purple Heart came in, when they put this letter out. Well, I called them because they had my priority grouping wrong. They were charging me co-pays. They didn't know I was a Purple Heart recipient. The category they had me in made me look pretty much like just an anybody coming in off the street asking for medication. So they treated me really wrong. I contacted the military order of the Purple Heart, and they went to Audie Murphy and talked to the higher up individuals, and they took care of the co-pays, and they took care of the priority grouping, and got all my I would say administrative stuff taken care of. So for me, the military order of the Purple Heart, they helped me administratively, settling this case. They also, when I moved to San Antonio, they 2 years prior, I had talked to one of the adjutant, and he said that he would help buy furniture when we get over here. Well, 2 years later, I called him and say, "Hey, we're here. Were you still going to be able to help us with the furniture?" 3 days later, they had furniture for us. So, and then my wife and I were going to get married, and to our surprise, the military order of the Purple Heart, wanted to marry us. So they set everything up. It was a very nice wedding with the reception and everything. And then, well, I'd go with the Military Order of the Purple Heart because they have a purpose and they seek progress. And we're 100% veteran oriented, not just Purple Heart specific. So that's the reason I attend and participate in their activities and their meetings and stuff. Personally, I don't know the differences in any of them, but just hearsay. I've heard that the VFW American Legion is basically just veterans use them because of the cheap beer. So, but I've never experienced that with the Military Order of the Purple Heart. Well, I have to say it's special because they offer different services, and right now they're trying to bring in the OIF, OEF veterans into the World War, Korea, Vietnam era, and unite, so that way we can continue with progress and support our younger retirees that are experiencing all these difficulties, within the military system itself or within the VA system while they're transitioning. And to me, that's really important to have somebody there. The variety of people that we have there with the Military Order Purple Heart here in San Antonio, the amount of experience with legislation, with keeping up with the benefits that are coming up for veterans and pushing for benefits and reassuring that our benefits are always going to stay there and not be tampered with is what their goal is. So that's why it's become important to me, because I realized through my own bad experience that having the right people, to represent you is important.